Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Nama. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe. It's sharp 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time in India. You can synchronize your watches with us. It's a green morning, it's a green afternoon, it's a green evening. People, those are joining us from Canada, United States, Latin America. It's a very warm, early, wonderful, green morning, but I know it's quite a chilly weather as far as Toronto is concerned. I just got a call a couple of minutes back and I was talking to them. They say it's quite chilly and quite windy. Yes, and Ottawa as well. So let me move from there to wonderful afternoon where people have enjoyed their lunch, and that is in European Union, and come to beautiful Bharat and surrounding Bharat are wonderful South Asia, going to Mauritius, Seychelles, Africa, and little late, 1.5 hours ahead when I'm thinking about my Southeast Asia and ASEAN countries. And let in Australia and New Zealand people in the middle of the night, let them sleep well. They will see it tomorrow morning. So let's go live. Let's enjoy this evening. We are privileged as from 25th of March 2020, during this pandemic, doctors, nurses, paramedical people trying to save every human being, every life. So our chamber also took a pledge when we learned from UNESCO that 1.65 billion children are away from schools, colleges, universities, polytechnics, and institutions and skill centers. Why not we should focus on education ecosystem? So ladies and gentlemen, this series is going on and today is 1472nd program. We have been doing 7 programs in a day also because we have to touch different continents and different places, different time zones. But now we have become a little more moderate and we have about 1 or 2 or maximum 3 webinars per day. So Wednesday, 2nd of March 2022, let's extend a very warm welcome to Professor Kannan Modkalaji. He is from IIT Bombay. He's a great soul. He's a great visionary. He's a great educator, researcher, reformer, empowering education ecosystem. And today we will be taking on a journey with him on global empowerment through Spoken Tutorial. Let me just share a couple of slides with all of you. We are a link between India and our Indian diaspora, 31.46 million people abroad, leading corporate houses and government interface from time to time. We keep working on various policy frameworks. We deal with the services sector and service industries are forte. If I look back, I'm one of those privileged soldiers who moved from Indian Army after doing my master's and PhD on deputation to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. And we set up India's first travel and tourism institute. And we were privileged that entire team, we drafted India's first MBA tourism for the UGC. From the armed forces, so something was to be given back to armed forces as well. So we set up Army Institute of Hotel Management and Catering Technology in Bangalore, where 2,600 children are at present. When I left the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, immediately I was given the responsibility to bring Indian diaspora confluence, networking, potluck, wisdom, whatsoever to be together in one ecosystem. And there was initial starting with about 6,000 NRIs. We have come a long way. Today we have got alliances with almost about 12 lakh people. And 1994, India got first finishing school for service industry because our forte was services sector. We were dealing with service industry and we were focusing on the youth and educators, teachers, counselors. A lot of kids have gone from here overseas and lots of teachers have got the part of it. 52,000 youth, they have been given complimentary education and almost 30,000 plus teachers, they have also passed through this finishing school network. We are also privileged, we are proud that for the UGC, we drafted lots of bachelor's and master degree program for service industry, which we gave them on different verticals of service industry. We are grateful to, our chamber is grateful to Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, 12 champion sectors being identified in the services sector. That is, think about service industry, think about us. And 28th February 2018, Honorable Prime Minister gave final clearance to 12 champion sectors for services export, services concentration. From there, we moved to micro, small, and medium enterprise because initially the total focus was on manufacturing sector. And over there, we requested why not we should bring services component as well. And we are grateful to Honorable Finance Minister. On 13th of May 2020, she announced that here onward, the services sector will be at par with the manufacturing sector. Then came, of course, we all know, in between the lockdown, and we took three buzzwords: making education relevant, making education going on, making education accessible, whatsoever way we can. We try to reach world over in almost 131 countries every day. And teachers and youth, they were basically the focus. In between, Honorable Prime Minister also announced Atmanirbhar Bharat, Self-Reliant India. We are working very closely with 37 sector skill councils. They are doing phenomenal work. NSDC under the aegis of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. And then Media Entertainment Skill Council, because everybody needs happiness. Everybody needs wellness. It may be a mental wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, environmental wellness, or maybe economical wellness, whatsoever we want to talk about it. So with Media Entertainment Sector Skill Council, we are doing a great, collaboration with them, inspiring educators and youth and a happy learning, lot of with technology. Then came on 29 July, the new education policy, new vertical, almost after 34 years wait. And this new education policy, and thereafter when we discussed in detail with the chairman of the NCVET, Dr. Nirmaljeet Singh Kalsi, the chairperson, a lot of deliberation, discussions, insight, inputs, and finally, the golden triangle is not Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, it's education, skills, and MSME. Because there has to be a purpose of education, there has to be an outcome of education, there has to be accountability, whatever degree we are getting over there. Our presidents always for the chamber since 1994, they are always abroad, they are Indian diasporas. Our present president is based out of Woodbury University, Burbank, California, and he comes every Sunday morning from 9:30 to 10:30, irrespective. During the entire pandemic, we have been together. And nowadays, he is talking about holistic leadership and the art of mindful creativity. We are also grateful to our immediate past president, who is from Thailand. And of course, we also started Ayurveda for the global wellness, and we have done almost 90 plus webinars. We are grateful to AICT chairman, Professor Anil Sastrabuddheji, Dr. N.S. Kalsiji, and a great visionary, almost about 82 years old, who just got Padma Vibhushan. That is, if you remember, Dr. Jagdish N. Sheth. He has been honored by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, based out of United States. He worked very closely with Philip Kotler, great authority, and of course, Professor Vivek Chandra Natarajan, Lamar University, and a couple of other dignitaries. The finishing school, which we set up brick and mortar, it has gone totally digital as an e-Gurukul inspirational lab. And over here, the inspiration is happiness all around. Why not education should be relevant to our day-to-day life, our day-to-day living, right from the morning we get up till we go to sleep. And at present, Chamber is working very aggressively, strategy for services exports, particularly human resource, what we can work on. We are having this program live globally. It's going world over, and it's on the YouTube channel. You all can enjoy. I wish to share with the entire globe. Today is 2nd of March. Just after 2 days, on 4th of March, there's an international virtual conference where 75 experts, psychologists, wellness experts, health experts, mental health experts from world over, they are coming together. And this is going to be a 7-hour non-stop program, 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. on 4th of March. On 8th of March, that is on International Women Day, We will be taking you to northeast part of India, 8 beautiful states under Act East policy. 75 women from the northeastern states, they will be together on this platform. 22nd March, that happens to be a Tuesday, there is a International Water Day. So preceding the Sunday, 2 days before, because it suits NRIs and other international speakers, all of them together. So you will have 75 experts on water management through education ecosystem. That will be on 20th of March. We are also bringing North India Film Tourism Festival, because at this point of time, children, teachers, educators, counselors, parents, everybody needs laughter, happiness, and all that is coming. So ladies and gentlemen, Napoleon Hill long time back told, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So let's come together. And that's why we have got a very distinguished guest this morning, this afternoon, this evening, Professor Kannan Moudgalyaji. He is from IIT Bombay. He received a BTech and a PhD for his work in chemical engineering at IIT Madras and Rice University, respectively, and a Master of Electrical Engineering from the latter. He was a visiting professor at University of Alberta. He works in the areas of modeling, control, and simulation. He has written 2 textbooks, Digital Control, published by John Willey and Sons, and Optimization, Theory and Practice, published by Narosa. He has written several papers in reputed journals and reference conferences. He is a member of IEEE and a life member of ISDE and CSI. Professor Kannan Sahab, he has been focusing on massive IT skills education through spoken tutorials, open source software at affordable laptops. He is extending the spoken tutorial approach to other skill topics as well, such as health, nutrition, breastfeeding, and many others. Professor Kannan Sahab, he received the Google MOOCs Research Award for the offline capability in spoken tutorial. He was nominated for the HT for Mumbai 2015 award. The Spoken Tutorial project received the best prize in the Reimagine Education Award 2015 instituted by Quess Wharton in the Nurturing Employment category. He received the Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay recognition for Re-Engineering India 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very warm welcome this morning, this afternoon, this evening to Professor Kannan Sahab, and let's take on the journey, global empowerment through spoken tutorial. Namaskar, pranam sir, hearty welcome, pleasure to have you with us, and such a beautiful greenery you have got at the back. It gives such a nice soothing to all of us.
Thank you. Thank you
hearty welcome.
For very kind introduction. I'm pleased to be here. Yeah, what you see in the background is my lawn. Live in a bungalow in IIT Bombay campus. Happy to be here and happy to be with you all today, whether it is morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is. So let me share my screen and get started. So this is the outline of the presentation, and I will not spend too much time on this. You will see all of this as we go along. One of the things that we wanted was, can we also train teachers? Okay, train teachers, then train the students, then you get the scale. So we said that should be suitable. Whatever we prepare should be suitable for self-learning. There should be no information loss. Because later on I'm going to show you that we end up training 70 lakh students, 7 million students. Now, how did we achieve that? By carefully designing the whole process. So here we said these are some of the requirements. For example, active learning should be suitable for assessment, should be suitable for self-learning, and so on and so forth. And finally, should be able to conduct large-scale training. Self-learning is extremely important in our context. Why? Because many people who are in our target audience do not go to good schools, do not go to good colleges, they don't have access to good teachers. Can we make our method suitable for self-learning so that at least the motivated people amongst them can learn by themselves? Okay. So for that, we came up with a design. Okay. Of course, we are focusing on mainly IT training, empowerment. We are talking about employment, empowerment. At the beginning, we said, beginning means we started this project in 2009. We said that can we, through a training methodology, empower a large number of people, train a large number of students across the country. Okay. For self-learning, we came up with this methodology. This is the logic. We write a script. Every one of our tutorials is scripted. Unlike my talk now, which is extempore. Okay, I have the slides. I'm presenting that. That is the easiest to do. You come up with a set of slides, do it. But our movies are more difficult because they have a script. You might have heard a director or producer saying, I received an excellent script, so I decided to make a movie. So we said right at the beginning of our project, which was in 2009, every one of our tutorials will have a script. And then we added a small twist to that. Then we asked the question, can a beginner understand it? Can a beginner understand it? This is a difficult question because the script is written by an expert and they don't know the level of the beginner. Okay. So most of the time the answer is no. Then we say, okay, improve it. So it goes in this loop many times and eventually it comes out, fortunately. And then we say, we record a video using this script. Okay. So videos as explained in the previous page are called Spoken Tutorial. I gave the name Spoken Tutorial because you don't see the video of the person who is speaking. You only hear their voice. It is still an audio video tutorial. You can see the computer programs and so on. You see the desktop. You can see all that, but here only the voice. So we call it Spoken Tutorial. There is another reason why it is called Spoken Tutorial that will become clear as we go along.
Welcome to the Spoken Tutorial on embedding mathematics in XFIG.
Okay. So that is a sample of a Spoken Tutorial. So Spoken Tutorials are designed for self-learning. There is a small speed. That's why some words are not coming. Hopefully it will not create too much of a problem. Spoken Tutorials are designed for self-learning through the novice check of the underlying script. Importance of self-learning. Our target audience lacks confidence, especially students taught by our teacher trainees. Confidence level goes up by self-learning. The moment they say, look, I can learn by themselves, myself. I am capable of learning. The moment they get that, that's all you have to do. Then they are on their own because there is so much to learn. So many resources are available. So you have to instill that confidence, self-confidence that they can do this, and self-learning gives that. And that is the beauty of our method. Not only in what they are learning, but several other things as well. For example, to go out of station, to go on their own, to go and buy a ticket, go and do vegetable shopping, do some whatever negotiation. All that is possible if they have that confidence, which comes from self-learning, that they are capable of learning. Active learning is another thing that I mentioned. How do we do this? We enforce it through a method called side-by-side learning. Remember, we are talking about IT training only through Spoken Tutorial. It could be C programming, Java programming, PHP, Python. It could be, we have about 50 topics, right? That gives them employment potential, right? Here is a screenshot of a desktop. In that, in half the screen, I have opened the Spoken Tutorial, which I have called as video. On the other side, I have opened the software. I would like to point out here that we work only with open source software. We don't force the student to buy any software. none of the software that we promote needs to be bought. As a result, even the poorest schools can afford it because they don't have to pay for the software. What happens then? What do? This is a video, you listen to one command, try to reproduce it. Okay. If it works, go to the next command. That is, listen to a command, pause the screen, pause the video, try it. If it works, go to the next command. If not, rewind, practice it again. Remember, it is created for self-learning through Non-Ict check of the script. So if it doesn't work, that means it is likely that you missed something. Go and listen to it again. You can learn it by yourself. If not, rewind and practice. It will always work because it is created for self-learning. Do this for the whole tutorial from the beginning to the end, and you have finished. And you have reproduced all the commands. You have seen everything. And the method is the same whether you do Scilab, this is a software called Scilab, or it is C programming, or Java programming, or LibreOffice for writing letters, and so on and so forth, or Blender to create 3D animation. The method is the same. Okay, that's how it is created. So it is standardized, which means I say that this can be taken in war footing. Right? Method is the same. And anybody who goes through this method can themselves be a promoter, facilitator. Okay, because the method is very simple. And the learning happens through the videos only. Nobody teaches. So later on, I'm going to show you that we are going to dub this in various languages. Same high quality is available even to the linguistic minorities, even if there are not many people. Right? So as I mentioned, hands-on training, learning by doing, learning by example, active learning, and assessment as a result is less critical. Why? Because suppose somebody goes on lecturing, you go and listen to it. Then you want to find out whether you have understood. Here you are reproducing every command, right? So it is not just listening to somebody, you are practicing. So in that sense, assessment is less critical. Active learning, 80% of our content in our videos can be reproduced, only 20% is theory. This is a necessary condition for self-learning.
Here we can customize the assignments. We can make the child have a lot of experiential learning opportunities because the child can drag the apparatus as per requirement, do it, or transfer everything as possible in the physical lab. So more interactive, more hands-on, definitely more wonderful and hence more useful. Undoubtedly much better than.
The reason why I decided to show some testimonials from schools and so on, people should not think that I am from IIT. It is what I create should be suitable only for engineering. Here is a teacher, CBSE teacher, talking about how it is useful for school children. Of course, we had a set of tutorials on a software called JMOL, which is useful to do lab experiments, chemistry lab experiments, which became very difficult during the pandemic. Okay, so she was very happy. I have two more testimonials.
Where we were actually doing the experiments and understanding how the experiment goes rather than looking into webinars one after the other in this virtual environment.
One more particular use which I find it will be for all of us will be we can use it for assessment, sir. Like once, the major challenge which we face is when we are assessing their practicals, then mostly we'll have to depend on Viva and the practical files. And whatever modules we show it to them, we are actually not able to gauge that how much the child is familiar with the apparatus and the use of it. But now this will help us to even carry on the assessments very smoothly, because once that we can ask the child to do a particular say module and practice and then send the screenshot to us, so we'll be able to know that whether the child has understood the concept properly or not.
Okay, no information loss, as I mentioned, everybody learns through the video only. Okay. So what happens in the master training and then national level training, state level training, and so on, there is information loss. That kind of loss doesn't happen. Quality is identical in all dub tutorials as well, to be discussed later. Now let me take up dubbing. This is for people not fluent in English. Translation should be easy to understand. Pure translation is not required. It is not for promoting our languages, but to promote employment to our children who may not be fluent in English. The key thing is job, job, job. That is what we are after here, right? Spoken tutorials are dubbed into India's 22 official languages. I have some foreign languages also. I'll show that also. Only the audio is dubbed, video remains in English. And this is another reason why we called it spoken tutorial. Students can use normal computer, normal keyboard, normal software, etc. And they will deliver a working software in English. The company need not even know. They don't bother about in what language they are doing the logic, right? In what language they're thinking. They don't have to. So long as they produce working code, that's fine. And that's what happens. It helps retain employment opportunities. We are not asking them to use Devanagari keyboard or Tamil keyboard or something like that, because they will not get IT jobs.
C++ में कंस्ट्रक्टर्स और डिस्ट्रक्टर्स के स्पोकन ट्यूटोरियल में आपका स्वागत है।
নমস্কার বন্ধুগণ, আপনাদের স্বাগত জানাই আমাদের গেটিং স্টার্টেড উইথ সাইল্যাব নামক স্পোকেন টিউটোরিয়ালে।
स्पोकन ट्युटोरियलच्या क्रिएटिंग बेसिक कंटेंट वरील पाठात आपले स्वागत।
प्यारा साथीहरू, कन्डिशनल एक्जिक्युसन इन बेस स्पोकन ट्युटोरियलमा स्वागत छ।
क्रिएटिंग बेसिक कंटेंट उत्ते स्पोकन ट्यूटोरियल विच तुहाडा स्वागत है। इस ट्यूटोरियल विच ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂਗੇ कंटेंट टाइप्स।
This is actually Punjabi, the title hasn't changed.
थाणा जो खीर प्यारण वास्ते क्रॉस क्रेडल होल जे स्पोकन ट्यूटोरियल में तवांजो स्वागत आहे।
ఫ్లో షీటింగ్ కు அறிமுகம் குறித்த స్పోకన్ ట్యుటోరియల్ కు నల్వరవు। అందరికీ నమస్కారం। జేమోల్ అప్లికేషన్ లో క్రియేట్ అండ్ ఎడిట్ మాలిక్యులర్ మోడల్స్ అను ఈ ట్యుటోరియల్ కు స్వాగతం।
जेमोल एप्लीकेशन में मॉडिफाई डिस्प्ले और व्यू के स्पोकन ट्यूटोरियल में खुशामदीद।
This is Urdu.
इस ट्यूटोरियल में हम
जावा इत्यस्मिन् अंकगणितीय प्रक्रियायाः पाठं प्रति स्वागतम्। अस्मिन् पाठे वयं विविधाः अंकगणित प्रक्रियाः अभ्यस्यामः। ते संयोगः, वियोगः, गुणकं, भागाहारः तथा एतेषां।
So why I took a little more time on Sanskrit is we have more than 300 tutorials already dubbed into Sanskrit, 300, right? Now, Sanskrit is one of our 22 languages, and it is the second official language of Uttarakhand, because some people ask, why did you do it in Sanskrit? This is what I mentioned, that to everybody, even to linguistic minorities, there are about 200,000 people in India who claim that Sanskrit is their mother tongue. I have been to conferences where they speak only in Sanskrit, for example, right? And that is one reason. The other reason is if we can do it in Sanskrit, because then we can do it in almost any language. So I wanted to convey that. Dubbed audio helps people not fluent in English, whereas video in English helps retain employment opportunities. It is helpful to people in neighboring countries because we have many common languages. By the way, that Nepali was dubbed by a person, resident, citizen of Nepal, Kathmandu. Okay, and of course, that's one of our 22 languages. She created and we paid her an honorarium. Sample dubbing in many international languages also. Let me show some.
مرحبا بكم في البرنامج التعليمي المنطوق على LibreOffice Writer.
សូមស្វាគមន៍ចំពោះការចូលមកកាន់ Spoken Tutorial តាម LibreOffice Writer នៅក្នុងឧបករណ៍នេះយើងនឹងរៀបចំការណែនាំ
The language is not changing.
Spoken Tutorial در ایکارد انیمیشن با استفاده از سنتیک خوش آمدید. در این برنامه این مواد
Bem-vindo a Spoken Tutorial in LibreOffice Calc Working with Cells.
Bienvenido al tutorial hablado de LibreOffice Writer. Tecleado y formateo básico.
ดีต้อนรับสู่การบรรยายสำหรับโปรแกรม LibreOffice Writer รูปแบบการพิมพ์ข้อความพื้นฐาน
Spoken Tutorial về thâu cần trong C và C cộng cộng.
Vietnamese. So, simple language helps in dubbing. It is also helpful to the target audience. We have more than 1,500 tutorials in English, 15,000 dubbed tutorials in 22 plus languages. Access to internet is not required because these are some of the problems. First problem I said, they don't have teachers, they don't go to good school. We need to instill self-confidence. Can we make it suitable for self-learning? Second thing we said, can it be suitable for people who are not fluent in English? The third problem, access to internet. It became a serious problem during the pandemic, but we started with this in 2009 itself. We made an offline application, can download an entire series as a zip file, unzip into all PCs and use offline. Okay, the access went up by 100 times. we could conduct a workshop for example, 250 people in one go. Okay. In fact, I can do it even for 1,000 people. This is even more compelling. We conducted this workshop in Myanmar, Yangon. There was no, forget about internet. They didn't even have electricity. We went there about 4 years ago, much before the coup and all that. And of course, you might say that how come there is electricity? Well, the photograph was taken when the electricity returned. Most of the workshop was conducted in total darkness. Okay, the laptops were charged. Our tutorials were loaded using the offline version. Because it is open source software, they downloaded and installed. All the laptops were ready to go. Notice that nobody is using desktop because that requires electricity. They're all using laptops. Is this method effective? Well, you will see some more examples and so on. Tanvi, so please tell first what you are doing, class you are in, and how you created and so on. Yeah.
I'm in class 4. I created it in Inkscape and Syncing Animation Studio. Now, what happened was when I opened the Inkscape and Syncing, that time I did not understand anything. And when I saw the one tutorial of Spoken Tutorial, that time I understood it very clearly. It was a very nice habit.
Now, let me tell you the background. In fact, you would have seen right at the beginning, you saw Professor Sahasrabuddhe's picture. He was the chief guest for this event. We had this animation hackathon. We said it was open to everybody. And what was the target? What was the theme? Take any story from any Panchatantra tale. Okay, that is something unique to our country. I said Panchatantra tale. You can create an animation up to 3 minutes long. Anybody can do that. And using an open source software called Synfig Studio, on which we had spoken tutorials. That's what she said, Sanvi, that she didn't know that software, but the moment she listened to it, she could find out. I'm going to show you briefly the animation that she created. Okay.
The heron who liked to eat the crab meat. Long time ago, there lived a heron near a pond. It was a very lazy creature, and once he got a plan to catch fishes without working much. He sat near the pond in a very gloomy face and without attempting to catch any fish.
Okay, so you got an idea, right? The spoken tutorial approach helps different types of audience. Introduction, these are all like Firefox, Gmail, typing, and so on. LibreOffice, which is an amazing alternative to MS Office. Programming, advanced programming. These are all web development pages, scripts, and so on. Web development software. Simulation users, I talked about Scilab. There are other things that are of interest to engineers. I talked about Synfig. Then you have Blender. Blender is a 3D animation software. Some scenes from Spider-Man 2 were created using Blender, which is an open source software. And Professor Uma Kanjilala of IGNOU gave very good testimonial on Blender because we conducted a workshop and she was amazed how even commercial things could not do. This open source thing is doing well. It is because of the training, right? For chemistry, JMOL, Chem Collective Virtual. By the way, all the school teachers that you heard a little while ago, they all did this workshop on Chem Collective Virtual Labs. There are, of course, other software similarly for biology, physics, mathematics, counting. Of course, we have lots of testimonials, some more testimonials. This is Mr. Amit Kumar. He received a national award to teachers, given to teachers. And this is Mr. Amit Kumar, received from the Honorable President in 2016. And he was he's a computer teacher in Navodaya, Theo Shimla. Now, in fact, he has got Fulbright scholarship, and he has gone to the US to spend 1 semester. What did he do? He said ICT in education using FOSS in association with CIET, NCERT New Delhi, and Spoken Tutorial Project IIT Bombay. This is his testimonial. And because Navodaya is a residential school, he could go in the evening, collect the students. Of course, they had good computer facilities and so on. He taught. And of course, spoken tutorials are available free of cost. And then a college principal in Pondicherry. Now I come to some testimonials from colleges also. You should not think that we are looking at only schools, right? Because until now, everything is school. So here, this IT Institute of Technology, Pondicherry, this Dr. Malarkan says 70 of the 88 placed students feel that the spoken tutorial training helped them to be well equipped for the TCS campus recruitment. So we are planning on encouraging all our students to be a part of this project. This is a head of a department from an MCA college in Marathwada Institute of Technology in Aurangabad. Okay, Aurangabad is famous for something else, right? Do you know? Ajanta, Ellora are there. Okay, that has a bearing on this because this company called this Chitra Desai, Dr. Chitra Desai, and head MCA MIT Aurangabad. MIT stands for Marathwada Institute of Technology. We have lots of MITs in India, Manipal Institute, Maharashtra Institute, and so on. This is Marathwada Institute, right? So this company wrote to them and said that they were interested in recruiting people who are good in PHP MySQL. She was not sure whether they were serious or whether they were actually coming to Ajanta Ellora. They put a business trip, come there, actually enjoy, go and enjoy, and then, you know, all expenses are covered. So she didn't want to ask them to go and study because it was not in the syllabus. She said, let's try spoken tutorial. She trained all the 30 students, and it turned out that the company was serious. It hired 6 students. In fact, for the company, it was very good because otherwise it's very difficult for a small company because they have to go to several colleges before they find one good person. Here in one college, they could get all the 6 people they wanted. Okay, that has a bearing. I'm going to come to that shortly. And the BSc graduate from Mumbai, she was a student in SIET in Mumbai, and she said that she got TCS job with which various engineers and other graduates would love to. Okay, and then she says that I got to TCS as a Linux developer, that too after just a BSc, after doing just one course on Linux. Okay, it is suitable for hardware and software also, programming languages, simulators, etc. For example, you know, we are looking at these also. I have some samples videos on eSIM. For example, you might be familiar with microcontroller Arduino. OpenPLC is a hardware. eSIM is an electronic circuit design software. In fact, we did this with Electronic Skills Sector Council. They made this available, and they wanted people to learn how to provide training because this is, we wanted them to do hands-on. For example, there are questions like, how do we distribute 10,000 of them in 200 plus locations? We can do it on a massive scale. I have some examples of that. So what we did was we came up with a small kit, very small kit with a FedEx. The charges were only 49 rupees. 3,200 teachers received the kit in 100 plus centers through FedEx. Through FedEx, delivered, and the whole thing is only 49 rupees. Okay, and in fact, we even got it delivered in. I'm going to show you a sample of this kit. We got it delivered even in Myanmar. In fact, I happened to go. I took it myself and gave it to them. Okay, this is the kit. This is the kit with a battery. They're all college teachers from various parts of the country. There are about 105 college teachers, 120 college teachers. Okay. So I'm going to talk about it later, how these teachers helped conduct this workshop to 30 to 50 people in their location. So if you do it for, this is train the trainer, and the trainer goes and helps conduct the whole thing. And we trained 3,000 people simultaneously. Okay. Second hardware workshop also we conducted. This is on Arduino. In this, we trained about 1,400 teachers. In fact, they paid 1,500 rupees out of their pocket. Of course, we gave a kit and all that. and Electronic Skills Sector Council joined hands with this also. Okay, so I have more about it shortly, but in the meantime, MHRD asked us, will people pay a small amount to use Spoken Tutorial so that you become self-sufficient? Okay, when a secretary, Mr. Subramaniam, asked this question, I said, you are asking an unfair question because which MHRD project is raising money? To which Mr. Subramaniam said, well, the reason why I am asking you only is that I believe that you are capable of raising money. I believe that this will work. So you please do that. Okay, it turned out to be a good thing. I was very happy. I said, okay, I'll try my best. I was very happy because after 2020, project funding stopped for our project. And thanks to the funds that we raised, we are supporting our project. Okay, so we interpreted, will they pay for a certificate? So in other words, our tutorials are available free of cost. People go and access them. But to do a test and get a certificate, we charge a small amount, very small amount. So we came up with a paid model for online tests and certificates in August 2018. Low annual subscription, I'll tell you what it is. We charge 25,000 rupees per college per year. Okay. So any number of students and any number of teachers from that college can appear in any number of tests. And if they pass the test, they'll get the certificate. Only requirement, they have to pass an online test. The test is administered in colleges. There is an invigilator. We put the name of the invigilator on the certificates. The cost can be as low as $1. In the Indian context, it can be as low as 10 rupees, 20 rupees, and so on. For India, we are doing it at 25 rupees because in some sense, whole thing is subsidized by the Indian government. So for other countries, it will be slightly more, maybe of the order of 1 lakh per year, per college, any number of students, any number of tests, for example. And for schools, the amount can be further lower. Interestingly, once they started paying, their learning improved. How did this happen? When it was free, they didn't take it seriously. Only 15% of the people who underwent training took the test. After it became payment-based, half the people took the test. And which is okay. In 10 rupees, you are going to learn C programming. It's fantastic, right? What is the extent of coverage? We have 1,500 colleges. Half are arts, science, commerce colleges. In fact, the Common Service Center of MIT has joined hands with us. They have 6,000 potential centers. Right now, about 200 centers have joined hands with us. Okay, each one is considered like a college, for example. Okay, this is where the online test is important. We conduct job fairs. Okay, that is why talking to Electronic Skills Sector Council is important. That is where talking to Logistics Skills Sector Council is important. We are in touch with both of them, for example, because Logistics Skills Sector Council, they want to recruit 1,000 people. They don't want just 2 or 3, for example, right? Collecting high performers in our online test, conducting job fairs for them. Example, we organized one with NASCOM. 10 companies participated. 30 students, 40 students appeared for the interview, job fair. 30 of them got total of 59 offers, which was very good. We expected only small companies to come. Even L&T Infotech came. L&T Infotech, when they go to a college, their success rate is 50%. Here, 17 out of 19 people who applied for it got selected. So, which is a fantastic hit rate.
Hi, my name is Shraddha Sue and I'm the Senior Manager Talent Acquisition for RAVE Technologies, as you see. So firstly, it gives me an immense pleasure to be a part of this campus today. And we have been conducting interviews since morning and we have got our select today. So I would like to introduce him. His name is Mayur Wagmode. Okay, and we have selected him for our company. Yeah.
I'm Mayur Wagmode from Pune Vidyarthi Graj College of Engineering. I'm currently in the final year of computer engineering. There are not companies coming to our college, but I thank to Spoken Tutorial and NASCOM for arranging such a beautiful mega job fair.
If you notice, he said companies don't come to his college for campus placement. So look at most of our colleges are of this type, right? Their graduates are in a big problem. Okay, because they have to find out how does one give them job, where do they apply, right? So in good colleges, IITs and so on, we have our recruitment cell. We have a campus placement cell and everybody gets a job. What about these colleges? Okay, so job fair helps students. Tier 3, Tier 4 colleges have no campus placements. Their students, especially the top ones, suffer. Whereas small companies also have difficulty in recruiting because they may have to go to 10 companies before they find one person. It becomes very expensive for them. So Spoken Tutorial became a good platform in which both of these people can meet. Okay, almost like marriage making, right? So benefits of subscription: higher completion efficacy, not just individual tutorial, but an entire series is available for download. Job fairs, new topics made available to subscribers first. So these are some of the things we are thinking of to make this attractive. Extent of coverage, as I mentioned, 1,500 colleges and common service center with 6,000 potential centers. I told you about this eSIM where the teachers did this, with the kit. So I have more on that now. So this is the thing that we conducted. One of my colleagues, Professor Phatak, did this experiment with, he came up with this project called T10KT, IIT Hub. We have lots of these centers. By the way, all these things happened before the pandemic. Okay. So at that time, it was novelty. You might say, hey, what is new about it? Remember, we have been doing this from, 2009 onwards, right? So these are all RCE stands for remote center. All of them connect. In the video that I showed, every person was a representative of one of these RCs. Okay. T10KT stands for Train 10,000 Teachers Project. How do? We do a pilot workshop, validate our content. Then we conduct a workshop for all the coordinators. The trainers get trained. Then we have massive workshop. Okay. With the help of trainers, we train all. So about 100 to 200 remote centers used to join. 50 to 100 learners come to each center, and we connect through video conferencing. Through coordinators, we train all. Okay. We address all centers live. We tell them right at the beginning, this is how the workshop will be conducted. Then we say, you're on your own. Just do it. If there is any help required, local trainer will help you, right? And then, of course, learning from spoken tutorials. Once in a while, we connect through live and then talk to them once again. We tell them, don't worry, you can do it yourself. That's all we are for. Okay, you are in safe hands. Is this approach helping, working? We conducted this Koha workshop in 2018. Notice the date, year 2018, before the pandemic. Okay, we repeated. Koha is, by the way, amazing library management software. Moodle, you might have heard of. It's a LMS system, learning management system. And then once again, we trained 4,300 people. And then Scilab, I told you 4,387 people. Python, 5,264 people. Linux, why do I put 1, 2, 3? It'll become clear. 1 is Afghanistan, 2 is Bangladesh, 3 is Myanmar. They also joined. So of course, in 2019, it was novelty. 2019, before the pandemic, right? This is the second set. And you can see a lot of them are, okay. And so the same 1, 2, 3. 3 means Myanmar. We did a lot of workshops in Myanmar. Okay, these are all the places where we had our centers. You can see this Myanmar, eSIM. We did this R workshop also, 190 centers. This is the Moodle System Administrator workshop, Moodle Teacher Coordinator workshop. eSIM workshop at Myanmar, I had an interaction with the director there. A few words.
Thank you, Professor.
Grammarly provides suggestions
Sorry
for
about
grammar,
it.
spelling,
advertisement.
style, tone, and more.
So, Karan, we at MIT are extremely privileged to be part of it. And today we have 25 participants from 6 universities here nearby Madrid.
Okay. So what is the novelty? We did this in 2008, 2019, before the pandemic, 2018 and so on, right? In fact, when the pandemic came, we were already ready, right? We've done this extensively, our workshop, for example. In fact, we even wrote a paper, PAN Commonwealth Forum paper, simultaneous training of 10,000 teachers through weapons of mass instruction. We've only heard of weapons of mass destruction. Here is the weapons of mass destruction, namely the educational technologies that we developed. Okay. Extent of training, 200,000 teachers trained, 7 million students trained, and direct web pages. Learners are additional, no registration, no login is required. You come to our thing, it is like our Vedas. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know who is learning. Come and take it, use it, right? We are going overseas too. There is this person from Nigeria who is attended, and he has given this testimonial. He says it is bringing a change to the technology sphere of Africa and equipping youths and with skills that are in high demand in the digital world, right? Now I'm going to talk about non-ICT areas, okay? Because ICT is the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other skills, right? Can be applied to other areas. So I'm going to give some examples. Biogas plant, for example, what is it? It's using gobar, right? Cow dung. You create this, and then it can provide a good amount of cooking gas. It can help keep surroundings clean. Costs about 20,000 rupees. Very popular in Sindhudurg. This is a district in Maharashtra. Okay, very slow training. Everybody has to go to Sindhudurg. Can we speed up training through spoken tutorials? Can a mason do this by himself after training, seeing spoken tutorials and an actual construction? It can spread like 5 to the power n. Okay, we created about 10 spoken tutorials. One plant was built using our method, and we told the student who was doing MTech at IIT Bombay, we will create spoken tutorials. A mason has to use them, create a biogas plant, then you will get the MTech degree. He did that and he got the MTech degree, and we are attempting to scale up. There is a mason's video I would want you to see. Okay, not sure what's happening. Okay, doesn't matter, we'll skip this. Not sure what happened was. I checked it was working. So here is the biogas. It looks like a regular gas and stove. Then second one, skills, Sevaks collecting health information in Gujarat. So basically volunteers collect health data, and one village per every district in Gujarat. They used to collect data on paper. They mainly 10th pass. They were taught how to fill a spreadsheet using Gujarati dubbed tutorials. Now everyone is using computers. Okay, this is Ramlila Ben. She's a proud volunteer, and she enters it on the laptop that we came up with. It's an affordable laptop that we came up with. It was in fact a 5,000 rupee laptop. Then we trained with the Gujarati dubbed spoken tutorials, this person, so she could use the laptop. Okay, and she's collecting BP. Manraj Singh, Anand district. So he's doing the same thing. Okay, look at his surroundings, right? Skills Study 3 STEMI project. We worked with Thomas Alexander of KMCH. How are we doing with respect to time? I have taken about 40 minutes. Is it okay?
Please
okay.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. The Skill Study 3 STEMI project. We worked with. There is a famous hospital there, Kovai Medical Center Hospital. Dr. Thomas Alexander. He conducted 1-year pilot in Coimbatore. What did he do? He brought the heart attack patients to the hospital in half the time. Brought means the treatment started in half the time. I'm sure these are available in developed countries, but not in India and other developing countries. He brought this technology. What is it? Basically, when the patients were brought in an ambulance, they were brought in a special ambulance. Okay, there was an ECG machine, and there was a paramedic. He could do the ECG. He could do whatever tests that are required, collect the sample, identify the blood group, whatever, and convey this information through 3G. When we started, it was 3G. Now it is 4G. Maybe it will become 5G. But the point is training, right? He brought the people. The treatment could start in half the time, and he could save 9 out of 10 people who would have died otherwise. Okay. Method, special ambulance with ECG and 3G, and paramedic helps do tests, administer medicine, etc. Paramedic training is an issue. On-the-job training for paramedics, large turnover of paramedics. When I met him first time, in fact, I saw a newspaper article that said that we are really worried about this turnover. It turned out that on that day, I was going to Coimbatore. Went to Coimbatore, and he was there meeting the patients with a gown, apron, and all that. So he said, God only has sent you, right? Then he said, it's a serious problem because you train them all well. Immediately, they got a job in Dubai. They went away. Okay. So large turnover of paramedics. So English proficiency is an issue. I told him, normally, of course, he said that for one job, 100 people line up. You select the best, you train them, that fellow is gone. I said, you flood the market with spoken tutorials on how to use the machine. Okay. And you say on the day of interview, you must demonstrate the skill. Okay. 100 people will not come, only 10 will come. Doesn't matter. You select them, you give them 20% extra salary because that person will start producing from day one. If that person goes, 9 other people are there. Take them. And you have not wasted too much time in on-the-job training. Okay. He said there is another problem. Convincing the public to use the special ambulance is another issue. Why? Because the ambulance comes and that fellow says it will cost 1,000 rupees. The auto fellow comes, hey, I will take you in a shorter time. I'll take all the shortcuts and I will charge only 500 rupees. Why do you need the 1,000 rupees? The ambulance driver is not capable of explaining. Look, you're talking about life and death. Come to the ambulance. Don't take the auto. Right? He said if spoken tutorials were there, I would have told them what is going to happen, why they should send. So this is very interesting. I never thought about it. So spoken tutorials were created for paramedic training, and we expected to launch in Telangana. It never happened. This is the big one that I'm going to get into, health and nutrition. This is where we did maximum. We have trained 40,000 health workers. Each health worker is influencing 100 newborns, 100 mothers. So you can imagine we are benefiting lakhs of children now, right? Maybe millions of children.
Welcome to the spoken tutorial on cross-cradle hold for breastfeeding. In this tutorial, we will learn about choosing the correct breastfeeding hold for a mother and her baby.
Okay. In fact, the earlier one, Sindhi one, was dubbing of this. Okay. I showed the dubbing in Sindhi. That was from here, right? This is Dr. Rupal Dalal. She's the one who leads the effort using spoken tutorials. You can see now all people sit and listen to, they watch. And of course, she does hands-on, gives dolls to everybody. And then she says, this is the way you have to hold, and so on and so forth for effective breastfeeding. She says men should also attend these workshops. I'm going to show some case studies quickly, right? This was a 1 kg baby. It was refused admission in a local hospital because if the baby died, its relatives may become violent. Our trained healthcare workers taught how to express breast milk in a cup because it was so weak, so sick, it could not drink directly from the mother's breast. After a few weeks of weight gain, the baby started breastfeeding directly from the mother. And before and after, I also have pictures. This is the after picture. Same baby after 6 months. Doctors had given up, but not our healthcare workers. Okay, more babies before and after. 4 weeks, 1.4 kg. 6 months, 5.5 kg. Okay, this is another baby. Yet another baby. One more. This child was stunted at 3 months. This is 3 months means 3 tick 1, 2, 3. This is the duration in months. And on the y-axis, you see the length of the baby. And this is the WHO chart. So below green means you are in bad shape. If you are touching this, then you are close to 85th percentile. He is now 5 years, touches the, of course, here I have shown it up to year 2 only, or maybe at the most, a little more than 2 years. But Now, in 5 years, he touches the 85th percentile on WHO chart. Only 15% of the children the world over are as tall as him. Notice that he started well below this. He was actually stunted, right? Male guard. When you hear male guard, you know it's a tiger reserve. You only know about tigers. You don't know about the Adivasis. You don't know about the tribals, okay? Male guard is a tribal region near Mumbai, high incidence of infant nutrition. You just do a web search on male guard, you will see that that it is a tribal sanctuary, tiger sanctuary, but you don't hear about tribals, and people in that locality had not seen such healthy babies in a very, very long time, right? These are all proud mothers of these babies who breastfed their babies and so on using our method. We have lots of testimonials.
जो वीडियो दिया है आपने वो सभी वीडियो मैंने देखा है, वो वीडियो करते ये वीडियो सबसे अलग है और ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग देने में बहुत सहायता करता है। मैंने पहले भी वीडियो देखा है, पर वो वीडियो में हम जे पद्धति के ले रहे थे बच्चे को, वैसे वो बच्चे फीडिंग नहीं ले पा रहे थे और अटैचमेंट नहीं हो रहा है। और आप क्रॉस क्रेडल आप सिखा रहे हो जे वीडियो में, वहाँ हम बच्चे को रखते हो तो बच्चे और माता का संपर्क बहुत ज्यादा रहता है और फीड अच्छे से ले रहा है और वो जो मुंह खुलता है वो बहुत ज्यादा खुलता है और फीड बहुत अच्छे से ले रहा है। और ये सब वीडियो है हम दर्दी को समझाते हैं और दिखाते हैं, गुजराती सभी गुजराती में दिया है तो सरल भाषा में पेशेंट और पेशेंट के सगे वाले भी सरल भाषा में समझ जाते हैं और हमको भी बहुत।
Okay, you can see that she's a nurse in Gujarat. So very happy about it. You can, in the background, you could hear the babies crying. We can help a lot of people in India. Muzaffarpur, Bihar. I don't know whether you've heard of. Every year, maximum large number of deaths. Okay, encephalitis deaths. Child nutrition in Muzaffarpur worse than most African countries. India is an example in contrast. All contrasting, something very best to the very worst, for example, right? Here it says that more than 100 children have died in Muzaffarpur due to encephalitis. This district in Bihar is a nightmare for children and fares poorer than most African countries when it comes to mother-child nutrition, for example. We are talking to the Bihar government, for example, UP government, for example. Currently working on other skills, vaccination, menstrual hygiene, zero budget farming, kitchen garden, road construction, low-cost housing. Low-cost housing, various missions are there, for example, Pradhan Mantri, Awas Yojana, and Sadak Yojana, and things like that. What is important? All these are for people at the bottom of the pyramid. I've come to the end of my talk, but before I end, I thought I'll just give a glimpse of another project that I'm working on. So that because all of you are from different parts of the world and you take our culture and you should know that we have this. So I thought I will show this to you, Indian Culture Portal, because we also want your contributions. That's why I wrote it like this, but this is a link as well. Let me see if I can open it for you. This is an initiative of the Ministry of Culture, indianculture.gov.in. It's not India culture, Indian culture, indianculture.gov.in. And you have amazing things here. For example, UNESCO Musical Instruments of India, research papers, photo essays, food and culture, rare books you can download. There are books that are published in 1800, for example. Those are available. If I click this, for example, rare books. Okay. Let me see if I can show 16 per page. And we have last is $192,1294 times whatever 30. So many books are there. You can see this Archaeological Survey of India, whatever. This is Malayalam books, for example. Well, these are in different languages also. For example, this is world's. Let me click this. This is one of the amazing, it's an 1857 book. You can actually download the whole book, right? Download button, History of Civilization, published in 1862, for example. So amazing things are there. There is one thing that I want you to see. Oops. Let's go to the main page. I want to show you, this is textiles and fabrics of India, forts of India, historic cities of India, audio, snippets, intangible cultures of India, paintings. Some of the amazing pictures of Rashtrapati Bhavan are here. How many people can get to go to Rashtrapati Bhavan? It's here. UNESCO sites are there. I wanted to show you about manuscripts. I want to show you one on stories. Here it is. Now, stories is an amazing thing. Why it is amazing? That story, if you see a story somewhere on the internet, you don't know whether to trust it or not. Here, all our stories are backed by a document in National Archives or some published book, for example. So let me, Bali Yatra, for example, this is something that Odisha did with Bali, okay, in the 10th century, 11th century, and so on. Let me go to the next page. I want to take Kohinoor. Okay. Kohinoor, wherever it is red in color, there is a document. Okay. For example, Lord Dalhousie, made at the request of Lord Dalhousie. That means Lord Dalhousie's letter may be there, a related correspondence may be there. Let me click this. There it is. How many people? So that means you don't even have to go to National Archives. We are bringing that to you. So this through your PDF, click details and so on. So National Archives has amazing collection, but boring. If you just look at it, it is boring. But you bring it in the form of a story, right? And we have a crack team of people with history, MA. Many people have done MA, PhDs. We have 4 PhDs out of 16. We have a crack team, and they are working from the Janpat of Janpat Bhavan in Janpat. Okay. Anybody who wants to visit there, whenever you go there, get in touch with me. I'll connect you, and then you can go and see. So, and lastly, we have created this for Freedom Archives. Freedom Archives, we thought that with Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we said, why don't we do Freedom Archives? And in this, rare books, images, archival records, museum collections, we have unsung heroes, for example. So, for example, we have 42 people. Of course, we have thousands of them, but we thought that we will start collecting, and they are from various states. And that's all I want to show you about this Indian Culture Museum. I've come to the end of my talk, and I think I have taken about close to 1 hour. To conclude, ICT-based education provides a lot of opportunities. Suitable design of education methods is important, demonstrated through spoken tutorials. These are our contribution to national education policy, Atmanirbhar, women empowerment, and we are ready to share whatever we are doing with friendly countries. By the way, the Indian Culture Portal, you don't need login. Come and access it, right? We don't even know who come to our webpage. Come, take it. We are ready to share. Enjoy. So this was supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT and Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, which was previously called MHRD, Government of India. Thank you. So with that, I've come to the end of my presentation.
Wonderful, wonderful, Professor Sir, wonderful.
Thank you.
It was indeed a treat to soul, treat to spirit, treat to mind, treat to vision. There's so much happening. Now, I just wish to take on finally, before we close the session, let's take northeast part of India, which is very close to Honorable Prime Minister's heart, and from, you know, just normal way of looking that side, it has become Act East policy. Okay. So under Act East policy, a lot of initiatives are being taken care of. At present, the main challenge in that particular region is the bandwidth, connectivity, and difficulty basically to get the basic signal and to log in. And some of the pockets, particularly because I worked in the armed forces that side, and now also when I travel over there, certain pockets are there where we have got lots of challenges. So how would you like to give a solution, particularly if I'm taking a region like far-flung areas, border areas, and peripheral areas, and those are very near to where we do not have a good bandwidth. So what is the solution?
Yeah. So IT training immediate. Can be done immediately. Look at this. Assamese we have dubbed in 577. 577 tutorials have been dubbed. Bodo 21. Why we haven't done? Two reasons. One is that we are far away. We are in Mumbai. If you identify the right people, we can work with them. The second problem was, as I told you, our funding was stopped, so we could not continue. Bodo, Manipuri. Okay. Then what else is there?
There are a lot of tribes in that particular area.
Yeah, Kasi is there.
Khasi is, that is in Meghalaya.
Meghalaya. We have 440 tutorials dubbed into, and then of course in many of them they speak Bengali. We have Bengali, for example, right? So it is immediate and it can be used offline. You don't need bandwidth. You need to download only one copy. If they have difficulty, they can always go to a Panchayat headquarters where they have bandwidth, download it, and then they can just use it.
Yes.
Right?
And somewhere you made a mention, sir, about CSC.
Yeah.
That is the Common Service Center.
Exactly.
In what context? Because CSC is also trying to reach up to Gram Panchayats and block level and everything. And that is, you mentioned about the Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology. Would you be kind enough to elaborate that a little bit?
Yeah. In fact, CSC is, it's an amazing concept started by MIT. There are 300,000 CSCs in India, in almost every other village. Okay. And these CSCs typically have 1 or 2 computers and they provide digital connectivity to that place. Supposing somebody comes and says, I want a land record or I want to buy a train ticket, things like that. So they pay a small amount to this. And so it is a self-supporting kind of a thing started by an entrepreneur. Now, out of the 3 lakh, there are about, I think, 6,000 to 7,000 centers at the block level. Block could be a district or a taluk headquarters. And these CSCs are slightly bigger. They might have 15 to 20 computers. So during the pandemic, the CSC Academy, they formed a CSC Academy. They said, why don't we use these computers also for education? Because they are not used all the time for printing land records and so on and so forth. So why don't we do that? So they contacted me and I told them we'll be very happy. So the idea is that these CSCs are at all parts of the country, in remotest locations, where there may be no colleges, there may be no access, but they have internet. MIT has given internet. So we said, why don't you become our, almost like a college, that you pay 25,000 rupees, then you charge whatever you want from the student. Whereas if it is a college, the students are paying college fees and all that. So the colleges have an obligation to provide IT training. But in the CSC, they are all entrepreneurs. Okay, they pay me 25,000 rupees and then they can charge 200 rupees, 300 rupees, whatever. Because if they charge too much also, it will backfire because people will not come. So they are all small entrepreneurs. They are not going to, they are just going to make their ends meet. So it became a very useful thing. We have 200 centers that have signed up. They are in all parts of India. Students are coming, they are learning. Once again, if somebody can learn, C programming in 200 rupees, it is still very good because after all, it is from our method is validated and people are getting TCS jobs. So many, in fact, our Java tutorials are used as an official learning material in Wipro. Because once you go to a company, they will say you should learn from here. So they have accepted that. So that means such a good thing is available throughout the country. So when they wrote to me, I wrote that now they are in fact in the process of giving diplomas. They said, can we give diploma? I said, sure. We have so many topics. You cover all these 21 topics or whatever they have selected. If you get certificates, all of them, you will automatically get a diploma. Okay. So I believe that it is a affordable kind of a thing. It can reach.
So as a layman, if somebody from the tribal area who is watching this particular program, my understanding, my interpretation is that per college, per year, they got to pay 25,000 rupees, irrespective of the number of students with that college. Am I correct, sir?
Correct.
Am I correct, sir?
Yes. And also irrespective of number of certificates they want to take.
Okay. That's number. They want to take that certificate would be given by whom, sir?
We give the Spoken Tutorial Project, IIT Bombay. So, for example, they might say C programming is one certificate.
Okay.
Java programming is another certificate.
Okay.
So they can take any number of students, any number of teachers can take any number of certificates.
Wonderful. So,
in fact, this scheme was availed by states like Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu. Okay.
Okay.
Because they have money, they understand the value of it.
Okay.
They say, I want to bring in 100 colleges. Okay. Because I have this money. Then what we do is we create a software they can monitor. They monitor and say, hey, you guys are not learning.
Right.
They call up. And so that way they take responsibility. Yeah.
One more question, sir. I would just conclude with that. Let us take an example. You took Khasis and you mentioned 442 tutorials. Let's take it. There are X number of colleges and they take your program and they want to train their potential trainers, teachers, educators, counselors, whomsoever they want to train. Now, this tutorial, which we talk 442, I wrote the figure over here for Khasis. So in that Northeast, is there any duration of that tutorial? That means duration means when that part runs, is there any time ceiling or a limit on that, sir?
Sorry, I forgot to explain this. Each tutorial is 10 minutes duration, approximately. And we tell them typically it will take 3 to 4 times that time to understand it well.
Okay. To understand it well, 3 to 4 times.
Yeah,
and
they
10,
have to listen to it, practice and so on. Yeah.
So 10 minutes is the duration.
Right.
And this 442 tutorials, what we have got, are they listed on your website?
They are listed on the web page.
They are listed on
you just have to go to Spoken Tutorial. Let me just show that.
It would be very kind of you.
Yeah.
Because let's see, I'm once again keen about Northeast part of India. You mentioned about Assam also.
Yes.
And I think one more state you mentioned, Manipur, I think.
Manipur. We can actually do it in every language that is required. Manipuri we have, like Khasi we have.
Okay.
Bodo will be very useful.
Yes, yes.
And because there is always a feeling the government is not doing enough, but the government has done. This is available. Only thing is there is information is not reaching. So it will be good if all the colleges in the borderland can come and say, hey, we want to use yours. It will be fantastic.
Okay. So we are over here. And when we talk about it over here, duration is 10 minutes. And it takes about 3 to 4 times to assimilate, to grasp, and to get the entire thing.
Right.
And it can also, if any particular state government is keen, then it can be funded and your organization can produce for them in their language.
Let me play Bodo.
Yeah.
Mozilla Firefox interface. Are toolbars identity line Be for Firefox interface are toolbars ni samandri silangan.
Okay.
Be for Ubuntu 10.04 ni takai. Firefox.
Sorry.
People would be very happy, sir, because a lot of people are watching from Tura, Garo Hills, this program.
Okay.
And Mr. Tyrone D. Brass, who is a headmaster of an institution over there, he's watching this program.
Fantastic.
If you can play Khasi,
Khasi,
they would be very happy, sir.
So let me take this.
Kublai, but Gibriya Subhaipi, Charles Spoken Tutorial, Halor Command Line Argument. Haganagi Kai, in a police of hang, Karukom Prekam, Jonkamin, but ki argument, Rekat Kinuksa. Nagabentak. Shushu Jing Templar, Mission, Pinjo, Nakanikaling, Bala Iharum.
Okay, let's take it. This we have run in their language.
Correct.
But at the same time, if we want to improve their English language,
they can listen to English version after that.
Okay.
Let them listen to the English version.
Are we following British patterns, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
We use very simple English, very simple, because remember the target audience.
Yes.
Target audience.
Very nice.
We don't want Shuddha Hindi. We don't want pure Tamil. We don't want only the, say, former chief minister, could understand. It should be for, can a child from rickshaw driver's family, can they understand?
Yes.
Our target audience, we should not lose sight of them.
Okay. It's such a wonderful session. We are so privileged and we become more humble. It was such a scintillating and a very captivating session which you have given to us. There's so much to learn and so much of hard work and so much of dedication and so much efforts have gone into, sir. We become more humble. Thank you very much for sparing your most valuable time and to be with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Professor Kannan from IIT Bombay. Those joined us midway or those joined at the fag end or those are going to watch this program later in their own time, you can always reach out Professor Kannan at IIT Mumbai. We call it Mumbai now, but it is IIT Bombay.
IIT Bombay in Mumbai.
In Mumbai. Okay. IIT Bombay in Mumbai. So you can well imagine. And when I see that garden, I mean to say, I get a feeling I'm sitting in Chandigarh because in Mumbai having this kind of a garden, that is a luxury. That's really a luxury. And he's living in such a beautiful environment because saving nature. So each one of us, let's rise, let's get up, let's learn, let's pick up, and let's pick up some new skills, some new, competencies and capabilities. And people like Professor Kannan, sir, they can add a lot to the humanity. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. And our deepest gratitudes and heartiest thanks to you. Such a wonderful session you have given to us. Thank you very much. So all the people world over, you can see the beautiful lawn. It's a green morning. It's a green afternoon. It's a green evening. And with these